Yo, what's good, guys? September 8th is the market recap on today. There was two setups that I was looking at taking. I obviously did not end up taking any trades today, but I'm going to break down why I was looking at these setups and why I did not end up actually taking them. So going into market open today, the most obvious draw on liquidity to me was this previous weekly high up here. If we look at the 4-hour, we can see that price had just inversed a bearish 4-hour gap. So I was leaning towards price, obviously moving to the upside. So we had a bearish 4-hour right here that got inversed by this candle right here. We also put in this 4-hour order block right here. We can see that from Friday, price had come down. We respected these bullish 4-hour gaps, and then we're just getting good movement back to the upside here. So obviously leaning a little bit more bullish going into market open, and then we had this obvious drop here, which was previous day high, obviously a 4-hour high, and it was previous weekly high. So super obvious draw. And then if we go to the 1 minute off open, we had a little move to the downside here. We had a lot of trend line liquidity, which I didn't really love. And then we did end up getting this inverse to the upside here. A couple of reasons why I didn't take this long. If we look at ES, we can do a split screen here. If we come over to ES, we can see that ES off of open was insanely choppy. It was literally like a barcode here until about 10:30. We finally broke out of this chop to the upside. There was literally no movement on ES for the first hour of market open, but we did have an SMT around this area right here. If we look here, we can see that price on ES swept out these lows. So we had this low right here that did not get taken out, obviously, on NQ, and then on ES we swept out this low right here. So we had an SMT here, and then we did get a 1 minute inverse to the upside, and the market was super bullish. The reason why I didn't take longs here, the risk to reward would have been really good on this trade, because I would have targeted a previous weekly high all the way up here. But I didn't take longs here because I didn't like the fact that we had a lot of this trendline liquidity below that we did not take out. Obviously we did get the little sweep here, but besides that, just left this behind. But the market was overall super bullish. If you did take this trade, you would have gotten stopped out at break even. The break even point as well was really, really close to where you would have entered. So there just wasn't much wiggle room with this trade here. So that's the reason why I passed up on that one. And then there was another good setup. I'm gonna go back to just one screen here on the 5 minute. So we had a 15-minute unfilled gap that we created when we had that push to the upside off of open, and we left behind a 15-minute unfilled right here. Draw this box right here, and we can see that price came down, tapped into this 15-minute gap, and got a really good reaction here back to the upside. On that retrace down, we created a 5-minute bearish gap. It was quite small. It was nothing special. We just had this bearish gap here, and the closure above it was extremely high, and also we almost took out our break-even point. I guess you could have gone break-even at this internal high here or at this internal high, and just where we closed was extremely close to both of these areas. And once again, if you did take this trade, you would have gotten stopped out at break even. Also, the risk to reward on this was not that great either. But yeah, price just failed to deliver higher. We didn't come up and take out previous weekly high. But once again, if you did take this, it would have been break even, same as the last trade. And like you guys know, today was a no news Monday. So price on days like this, when there's no news, there's really not much direction in the market. And as we can see, price fails to move higher here to our draw on liquidity. So this is going to be an area that I'm looking for either tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't get taken out during tonight's overnight session. But this is going to be an area here that is going to be super key that I'm going to be looking for price to move to either tomorrow or later this week. So just because it's super obvious. And the market overall is very, very, very bullish. But other than that, Not too much here, just a lot of consolidation, typical for a No News Monday. So stayed out of the market today, no trades for me. I will catch you guys on here with another recap tomorrow. Peace.